But speaking of contracts, let's talk about somebody that was cut today that I think is a very interesting prospect because Robert Woods of the Tennessee Titans was cut. He only played there for 1 year. He came in, and that's an interesting system to come into. He made a lot of money, but he just got cut. And last year he was a $16.2 million dollar hit. So, and now it's like, okay, he's the top of the free agent wide receiver market. So, Joshua, when you're looking at kind of the free agent wide receivers, now we have another name added to the pot, which is always good because that lowers the value of other players, or it allows the Ravens to maybe get Robert Woods. What are your thoughts on, these guys that they could potentially target to help out Lamar Jackson or whoever's at quarterback next season?
Well, when I think of Robert Woods, I'm definitely looking at someone that's a veteran, someone that can,
You're back.
maybe frozen out.
No,
Okay,
you're good.
okay. All right, so sorry guys, I'm having a little internet issues over here. But other than that, man, like I was saying, Robert Woods, I definitely feel like that will be an upgrade to this offensive wide receiver room for the simple fact that we possibly can get a veteran guy. I know some.
Well, Joshua just disconnected. He'll join back in a few seconds. I can talk about Robert Woods for a little bit. But Robert Woods is somebody who, has played in a couple of different systems. He's played with the Rams, playing with Cooper Kupp. He was very effective over there. He went to the Tennessee Titans last year, put up about 520 yards. That Titans team, it's losing. I mean, when you're trying to replace A.J. Brown and you're like a veteran wide receiver, that's not where it's going to work. I think he's a good player. However, at the same time, I think he's going to drastically be overpaid because he's the number one wide receiver on the market. And so I feel like he's going to get a big deal because of that. And, so I don't think he's in the Ravens price range. However, at the same time, with him joining the market, I think that reduces the prices of other players. Maybe a guy like a Julio Jones is even more affordable, right? Maybe a guy like Jarvis Landry is now more affordable. Maybe a guy like N'Keal Harry's a little bit more affordable. The Ravens don't have a lot of money to play around with, most likely. So whatever they can spend their money on, that's what they're going to try and do. So, I think that Robert Woods, I think he's a good player. But for me, if I'm looking at players to go after, maybe you go after a DJ Chark. He may command a lot of money. So if you can't afford him, I know Joshua's a big fan of Jacoby Myers, bringing him in. I think a Jarvis Landry signing could be good. Like a veteran wide receiver that, can get open and, he's not crazy athletic. He's not going to just drastically change this entire roster, but he'd be very cheap, team-friendly deal. Maybe he could be somebody we bring in. I would love Juju Smith-Schuster. However, I think he's going to cost way too much. But, last year I think he played exceptionally well for the Kansas City Chiefs. He also put up a lot of snaps. A guy that also, maybe Marvin Jones. I don't know if I love Marvin Jones, but again, we're looking at players where it's like, okay, these are going to be vet mints. We're not making a major signing at wide receiver, but I think we do sign one. And maybe it's a re-sign. Maybe we re-sign DeMarcus Robinson. Maybe we re-sign Sammy Watkins. But I think it's nice to have options outside of those guys. We could even bring in, shout out to the legend, Rashad Perriman. He's actually a free agent this year. So is Chris Moore. But, I think there are definitely guys that we can go after at the wide receiver position that we can really get good production out of if the Ravens aren't, forcing the football to them as a wide receiver 1. Use him as a wide receiver 3. Use him as a wide receiver 2. Let Bateman be the 1 and let these other guys, go out there and, play their best football and see what they can really do.